Come on, man. You gotta really at least. What's up with it, y'all? Straight to the point. Hit that like when you're in here. Um, Let me talk about this Stephen A. Smith being on Gils Arenas, Gils Arenas, Gils Arena. Um, I watched I watched the full 2 hours, but I think the segment that everybody was pretty much focused on were two things. One, of course, is the situation that happened where LeBron had approached Stephen A. Courtside and called himself bullying Stephen A. Smith. And then of course, the whole Jordan, Kobe, LeBron debate. Now, here's how I feel about everything. And I've been hearing a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of comments, and they've been saying things like, um, Stephen A. Smith, man, we didn't realize that, he cursed so much and all this other stuff. Well, that shows that you really don't know Stephen A. Smith and you haven't really watched some of his stuff, man. He always using profanity. So let me get that out of the way. But, Stephen A. Smith, man, he pretty much, you like him or not, he had a really good, he had a good point, man. Like I said, man, I don't like the things, a lot of the things that Stephen A. Smith stands for. I certainly don't like a lot of the things that he says. But in this instance, he's right, and he's 100%, correct. And I'm gonna say this too. LeBron really, even if Stephen A. Smith had criticized his son, you really can't get mad. Like the only way that you could get mad is if he was disrespectful, about Bronny or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If he was doing all that stuff that he was doing to say Kwame Brown, then okay, we would be having a different discussion. But none of that went on. All the trolling, like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp were doing on Undisputed with Russell Westbrook or some shit like that. Now that right there is disrespectful because you see that it had an effect on Russell Westbrook's family, even so going so far as to his wife speaking out about it. But that's neither here nor there. I like the fact that they brought up, particularly when they were talking about Kenya Martin. I remember a portion where Kenya Martin was saying that he coaches right now. He coaches little league girls and everything. And what he was saying is, you you have parents that they go hard for their children, as you should. You know what I'm saying? They go hard for their kids and stuff. Uh, even the ones that don't really necessarily have the talent or whatnot. Um, but a lot of parents, they put a lot of stock into their children as you're supposed to and everything, to try to live their dream and their fantasy through their children and stuff, and their children might not be have that capability like they might have. You know what I'm saying? And like what's his name? Kenyon Martin alluded to the fact about your genetic tree. You might not have anybody in your genetic tree that has that type of talent, that might not have the actual genetics in terms of their specimen of what they're going to look like, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their build or something like that, like, this is kind of a sidebar right here, but I'm going to say this too. I got a lot of comments about Bronny's height and Bryce's height, right? And a lot of people are like, well, why is Bronny 6'1" or 6'2", and why is Bryce, between 6'5" and 6'6"? A lot of people, listen. I want to say this too. There have been different posting of Bryce's height. They're saying last time I checked, Bryce, he at Max Preps, because me and I think the brother FYF was talking about. Shout out to Lamont FYF. We were talking about Bryce's height, but he had checked in at 6'5". Now I do know in a lot of cases when you do go to the combine, you go to workouts and stuff like that, they measure you without shoes. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a case where he is, 6'5", with shoes on, and then without shoes, he might be, a little shorter, you know what I'm saying, at 6'4". But then they have him listed at 6'6". So, but I always go by Max Preps, okay? I just want to get that out there. But anyway, you have to understand, man, that when you're in this business, when you're in this business, and when kids are in this business and everything, they're not going to be nice to you. Even if, like, a lot of people, let's just call it what it is, man. If you came out here and you go to, let's say you go to a place like Rico Hines and UCLA and stuff like that, man, they don't care if you're LeBron James' son. They don't care where you come from, who you with. You could be, damn Michael Jordan. They don't listen. They don't care about any of that, because you're going over there and you're playing. You're playing with all out dogs. I give UCLA an example, because I think that going to like Rico Hines, a guy, like Bronny James and Bryce James and anybody, man, would benefit off of playing over there. But to get back to the Stephen A. Smith and Gilbert Arenas podcast, I like the fact that he went over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I don't have to be a fan of Stephen A. Smith to say, okay, he went over there. A lot of people have this perception that Stephen A. Smith had got punked and all this other stuff. The only way that Stephen A. Smith had got punked, if you really want to go there, is by him actually explaining himself and being like, backing away or whatever. No, you should have stood on business and should have said, continue saying, and also saying that you never criticized Bronny. You criticized LeBron in terms of what he was doing and stuff like that. I would have told LeBron the same thing, man. You need to save the embarrassment. What are you doing to Bronny? And I'm not going to come from a point of view of him being a kid, a kid, because Bronny is not a kid. He's a grown man, just like anybody else. This is a grown ass man league. You know, all the greats got criticized. Kobe got criticized. Jordan got criticized. They still getting criticized to this day, even after them being 20 some odd years removed from the league and stuff. Um, but going over there, and you knew the question was going to get asked anyways. Everybody knew, they were going to ask him about, what had taken place or whatnot. But he did think it was some bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was some bullshit too. And then he also explained, the fact that he had saw him, speaking with Richard Jefferson and all this other stuff. Um, now Stephen A. Smith, of course, we all know, he's not gonna tell the full truth about everything a lot of times. I mean, it's entertainment. There's stuff that only so much that you could say and stuff. Uh, but I will say this though. Let me say, said hi. What's going on, David? What's going on, man? Please hit that like when you come in here, please. So I'm gonna say this, right? If you're saying, okay, LeBron is sitting there saying, like, keep keep the name out of, keep Bronny's name out of your fucking mouth and stuff like that or whatever. And I'm gonna say this again. If Stephen A. Smith had to do that, if he was really criticizing Bronny the way that he should, because I've said this before, what I'm about to say, then you got to tell that to the people. You're gonna have to go to the internet and jump in people's face like you did Stephen A. Smith, that were actually criticizing Bronny to a level that was nowhere near Stephen A. Smith. You got to realize Stephen A. Smith didn't even watch this dude play in college, and he also said that he doesn't really watch guys like that, coming in, to high school until it's really serious or whatever. Because when he shows up at a game and stuff like that, then he'll be forced to criticize them or whatever. So a lot of these guys he doesn't watch, and he also said that he asked about them too. Like he said, he had to ask about Elijah Arenas. I watch more of those guys than they do. You said maybe LeBron, Stephen A. was going to talk about Bronny like he did Kwame Brown. But Bronny is a grown man, like you said. Well, the situation with Kwame Brown was a whole lot different. The only thing that was the same is that they had made it to the league or whatnot, but you see clearly that the path was different. Bronny got grandfathered in, you know what I'm saying? And everybody knows that he doesn't belong on the NBA roster, not yet, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he still got a lot of work that he has to do. Kwame Brown was a number one pick. He was the number one pick in the draft or whatnot. And like I was telling somebody behind the scenes yesterday, everybody wants to sit up here and say, this guy's a bust, that guy's a bust, and all this other stuff. A bust to me, man, is you making it, man, and you not even seeing the floor playing no playing time, and your career only lasts like 2 seasons. Okay, and I don't even like to call anybody, a bust. I don't like to disrespect no type of players or whatever, because going to the league, man, any type of league, basketball, football, baseball, It's not easy to get in there. It's not. Okay, it's not. And so you gotta really know what you're saying when you say, okay, yeah, this guy's a bust or that guy's a bust. If you're 5'7" or 5'8" and you've never played a sport, you've never ran, you've never shot a ball, you've never swung a bat, you've never worked out, you've never done any of that stuff, but you call Kwame Brown a bust, or you say that he's trash, or you say that he's this, or you say that he's that, you look really stupid if you're doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my thing is this: can you stop him? Can you do what he did? Can you make the generational wealth that he was capable of making? You know, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. So, and I didn't mean to throw in Kwame Brown in there. It's just that I had to give you an example of what I was talking about, David Joseph. Stephen to really hard on black athletes for years. That annoys people. That's the reason so many get upset and eat. I need to pull back on that a little bit. In this situation, he didn't even go hard on he didn't even go hard on Bronny. He didn't. In a situation like this, he didn't even go hard on Bronny. He was pleading with LeBron James as a father. David Joseph, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Like, cause my son is playing sports and stuff. My son's coach, basically, he didn't start my son right away. And if my son was messing up in the game, I mean, he was all over him. Not gonna get mad at him. You know why? Because that's what comes with the sport. I want somebody hard on my son, because if a coach sees that your son or daughter has potential, believe it or not, sometimes they're gonna be a little harder on that child than they are, you know, another child that's already scoring the buckets. Like his son is out there, you know, scoring and stuff like that or whatever. But guess what? My son at the end of the season, he ended up getting like 2-3 trophies, and got the new he got the Hart the Hart trophy, biggest Hart. He got a newcomer trophy. And then he also got a player of the game. He got him a little medal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that was his first time playing basketball. You know, like he's more into t-ball. But if the coach said, "Hey man, you know, your son right now, he's just not at that level," you know, if they say, "Hey, your son, man, he's this or he's that or whatever," be like, "All right." Now, if he gets personal with it, yeah, that's when you have to put your father hat on. Yeah, please hit the like button. And share the video, man. I don't know what it is. You know, YouTube is not sending my videos out. But then, of course they got to the other conversation, and this had to do with the LeBron and LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe debate. Now he said his reasoning for having LeBron up there is that LeBron could, you know, his versatility, yada yada yada, and all this other stuff. A lot of people are always with this 1A, you know, 1A, 1B. when it comes to Kobe and when it comes to Jordan. And a lot of people see they're like, well, Kobe, he played just like Jordan and all this other stuff, so he really doesn't count. That's not true. Like, a lot of people don't understand that Jordan, I mean, Kobe had a tougher path in the finals, especially that there was a couple of finals, there was a couple of championship seasons in which they had a very tough road to the finals. So you got to take that into account. And then on top of that, uh, like I said, I always go back to this. Kobe has done something. He's done a lot of things, but he's done something that LeBron has not done, and that's three-peat. He three-peated. Yes, I know he had Shaq, but like I said, we we got to go back to that logic. He had Chris Bosh and he had Wade, two Hall of Famers, and he also played with some other Hall of Famers later on in his career, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And not that Kobe was playing with any nobodies, because the guys that he had on his team were good. You said I did look awkward seeing LeBron leave that huddle to go. Well, yeah, I mean, this was in the middle, and he talked about that. He talked about, like, you're really not supposed to. You're not supposed to be approaching media members when you do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And you should have approached. If you felt some type of way, man, you should have just put them to a side or whatever. But like I'm saying, like you need to keep that same. Or like back in the days when Najee Muhammad, came to you and tried to get at you and disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about you standing over a dude that you 7 inches taller than, and about 150 more pounds, 150 more pounds than this dude. So you already know from a physical standpoint, you have the advantage on him if things was to get a little crazy. But that goes to show you, like, to me, that's female tendencies, because you sitting up there, you're exhibiting female tendencies, which is getting all emotional and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Part of being a man is being able to control your emotions. Like I said, okay, and a lot of people have a problem with this. Everybody's saying LeBron stood on business. You didn't stand on business, man. You didn't stand on business. You didn't stand on business because this, like I said, this was about you. This wasn't about Bronny. And like I said, like I was telling, I've told plenty of people. I told my nigga Ticket. I told him, FYF, Lamont. I told Brother Cypress TV, Brown Sugar, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that come up in here, I've told them. I've stood on business when it came to Bronny. Like I said, I've been in the minority of the people that always come and saying, oh, well, Bronny's trash and all this other stuff. I'm like, nah, he's not god awful. He's not trash or nothing like that. He just can't play at that level quite yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't put nothing in perspective, man. They don't put nothing into its proper perspective. You're talking about a guy, man, that had to be resuscitated. He had to be resuscitated, man. He had to be brought back to life, okay? He had cardiac arrest, shit that people die from, not only just on the court, but in regular life too, okay? So let's take that into consideration. I had said from the beginning, I did not think it was a good idea for him to step back on that court for health reasons. I said, you don't need to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron was so gung ho on getting his son in there. And then on top of that, you have another son too as well. You know what I'm saying? Now, it might be a couple years or whatever, but you got 3 years. You got three, well, at that time you had 4 years. You had 3 years. A lot can happen in 3 years. So why not give this guy a chance to develop, you know, like play in D1. He did not have enough time like David Joseph. I want you to understand, man, you probably do, but a lot of people don't understand this. When you miss time in basketball, when you miss time in any sport, your rhythm gets thrown off, man. You have to, like, look at Luka. Luka still hasn't got back to being Luka because he missed quite a bit of time, because you have to get your rhythm back, man. He never really got a chance to develop like a rhythm, like especially after the heart issue or whatever. You're being thrown in pretty much damn near halfway in the season, and like I said, I'm not making a ton of excuses for him, but we have to. We a lot of people, they're prisoners of the moment, and they go based off of emotions and feelings, and they're like, "Oh man, this guy sucks. This guy sucks." I'm not looking at Bronny like he sucks, because he doesn't suck. Now, you might say that in comparison to him getting murdered by Tyrese Maxey. Of course he's gonna look like he's trash, because Tyrese Maxey hasn't missed no time. Tyrese Maxey played at Kentucky at D1. Tyrese Maxey went to the draft like he was supposed to. Tyrese Maxey was sought out of high school. He was one of the top ranked players coming out of Texas. I'm just giving an example. Bronny wasn't any of that. You know what I'm saying? He barely played in college. And then you want to throw him in a draft combine. You know what I'm saying? You need time. Basketball takes time for others. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, they just naturally get it. They naturally gifted. And some guys don't. You said those NBA players a lot bigger in person, up and close. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about when that woman courtside called KD. Yeah, like stuff like that, man. You can't just be doing that, man. Like I don't disrespect. Like when I get on Joel Embiid, man, it's like I would tell Joel Embiid, you know, hey, man, like you got to make a decision, bro. Because you're letting down the city of Philly, man, with some of the things that you're doing. But it doesn't take, I'm not going to sit up there and call Joel and be, oh, you trash or you garbage or something like that, because he made it. You understand what I'm saying? Because he made it. Man, Stephen Green, I don't never see you no more, bro. What's going on, man? But, like I said, getting back to Bronny and everything, you're gonna get criticized, man. You know, it's like my daughter. If they say, hey, your daughter needs work, she's not at that level yet. She's not good. I'm not gonna be like, man, watch what you say about my daughter. No, I'm not gonna do that. Now, if it's on some disrespectful, yeah. Like I told you, when I was playing, the guy that was starting ahead of me at my position, and there was another guy on the team, man, they used to talk all types of shit to me. They were like, nigga, why ain't you working a regular job, nigga? Your ass is trash. I could have came through baseline and did a nice move. They be like, nigga, you garbage. I could have balled out in practice. Oh, you doing great. Oh, da 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 da. You know, the coach would be like, man, they were like, man, that nigga garbage. That's why that nigga ain't even starting. You ain't gonna see the floor. Nah, that's the type of criticism you're supposed to have. Okay, that's great, man. That's great. But what was I gonna talk about? You said DJ. Oh yeah, yeah. You talking about David Joseph? Okay, you call him DJ. I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers for a second. Now, you know the Steelers are supposed to be going after Aaron Rodgers. I'll get to the lockout in a minute. I'll get to the WNBA lockout in a minute. I don't think a lot of people care about the WNBA lockout. I do. I care about the WNBA lockout. I think it's a crying shame. What do y'all think? Man, no, he needs to go home and sit his ass down. That's what Aaron Rodgers needs to do. He needs to go home and sit down. His time is done, man. Everybody talk about he's a serviceable quarterback and all this other stuff. If he was serviceable, they would have did a lot better last season. If he was serviceable, he wouldn't have got Salah fired. He got Salah fired, man. He got Robert Salah fired. And then you want to go to the Steelers, man, and contaminate the Steelers locker room and stuff like that. Dog, just go home, man. Dog, you've had a great career, man. Okay? Everybody's not gonna win Super Bowls, a lot of Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not, now in his case he won a lot of MVPs, but if he didn't win a lot of MVPs, a lot of people not gonna win MVPs. It's just some people just don't. But what are you sticking around for? Everybody can't be a Tom Brady. Everybody can't be a Jerry Rice. Everybody's not gonna play all these years like a LeBron James. It's just you're not cut out for that. And I'm talking about like in terms of your success rate, man. No WNBA, please, like WNBA's future bright. Well, some people don't think so. There's only a handful of. Shout out to my nigga HDIITV, the brother Showtime, Ticket TV, I think Sports T and Gigi Chillin'. Those are some of the people that really cover the WNBA. Shout out to them, man. But a lot of people they could care less. I care about the WNBA. I care about women's college ball, women's college basketball. Like, these women deserve more. They deserve more. It's like they're headed for a lockout, man. If they don't get the negotiations right with the CBA, they're headed for a lockout. They don't understand that these women are marketable. Like when you talk about Angel Reese, I give Angel Reese an example. Angel Reese, she could get the bag regardless. I mean, just with her personality, just with her, she got the look. Um, you know what I'm saying? She got podcasts. She's articulate, she's smart, and she's business minded. Hell, I'm at the point now. If you're not gonna pay Angel Reese, I'm like Angel Reese, go get into something else. You said Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers' love for the game. What about his love for the game? Everybody got love for the game, but it's the difference between having love for the game and if you could play. Like you could love the game all day, man. If you can't hit your targets no more, like the execs and the front offices and the coaches and stuff like that, they don't care how much love for the game you got. They're gonna be like, maybe it's time for your ass to go. I'm glad Aaron Glenn said, I don't want him here. We need a guy that's loaded with potential. We need guys that have a future ahead. Justin Fields has only been in the league, what, three years? Nah, man. Aaron Rodgers done been in the league close to 20 something, almost 20 something seasons, or 17 seasons, I think it is. Well, no, even before that, man. Shit, I gotta check, man. He been in the league a long ass time. I don't know the exact number yet, but he been in the league too damn long. Said Paige Bucher and Haley. I believe they can model too. Well, I think like on a modeling level, you gotta have that look though. Like Shanae Agwigwi, even though she, like she's a little bit older or whatever, and she's doing other things, she could be a model. Okay, Aja Wilson, she could be a model. Of course, Angel Reese, she could be a model. I don't know about Paige Bucher. Hell, I think Juju Watkins, she could model. You know, they just have that. They have that look for them, like Liz Bridge. You know what I'm saying? Even though she's doing OnlyFans and stuff like that, she's still a beautiful woman, man. You said Aaron Rodgers gonna have Pat McAfee hanging around Steelers training camp. Hell yeah. Pat McAfee need to tell his ass to sit the fuck down, man. That's what he need to, man. I don't know, Steven, man. It seems like you root for these guys, man, that like you're really root for Aaron Rodgers to somehow, some way, man, do the unthinkable, man. I don't know what it is about you, man. Like, you got to be realistic, man. Like, really, honestly, can Aaron Rodgers lead a team to a Super Bowl? That's the goal, man. Like, what are you playing for? Are you playing just to say, okay, hey, yeah, I could still play this game, or are you gonna? Because when Brady was playing, he came to Tampa Bay, he came to my squad, and he said, look, I'm gonna win a championship, even at his elder age. If you're not playing for titles, go sit down. Aaron Rodgers should leave on his own terms. But what you don't realize is that you're contaminating the locker room as a quarterback, man. This is the thing. As a quarterback, you are seen as the leader. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of cases, there's been some cases where the defensive guy is the overall leader, like a Ray Lewis. You know what I'm saying? He got everybody hype, even the offense hype. But the quarterback is seen as the leader, man. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Aaron Rodgers, do you see a Patrick Mahomes? No, you do not. When you look at Aaron Rodgers, do you see a Lamar Jackson? No, you do not. When you look at Aaron Rodgers, do you see a Josh Allen? No, you do not. When you look at Aaron Rodgers, do you see a Jalen Hurts? No, you do not. What are all these guys having? When you look at Aaron Rodgers, do you see a Jaden Daniels? No, you do not. C.J. Stroud? No, you do not. All of these guys were successful. All right, they were successful. They were playing for something. They were either in the wild card, they were either in the divisional round, or they made it to the conference championship, or they won a motherfucking Super Bowl. I mean, that's what Tom Brady was doing, Stephen Green. Leaving on his own terms. Shit. Let's talk about terms. In terms of your ass winning a Super Bowl, you have zero chance of doing that. Only way that you're gonna do it, be able to do that, is if you game managing or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You stepping in on some Joe Flacco shit. You said Colts have Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. They both seem the same. I like Anthony Richardson. I like Anthony Richardson, man. I think he's still just got to give him a little bit more time. He's had some good games. But he's had some not so good games. But I like Anthony Richardson. Do it like the Packers, Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Like, the thing about Brett Favre is that Brett Favre was actually competitive. He was competitive at his older age, and he was putting up some decent numbers. My Saints are still searching for our next Drew Brees. The Saints are making moves, man. The Saints are making moves, man. But and I wasn't the biggest Drew Brees fan, but he was a bad dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like. I mean, he wrote his wrongs. What it, for that little controversy he did or whatnot. But I fucks with Drew Brees though. Like as a quarterback, I mean, down to just pick up a running back from the Denver Broncos. Look, nobody's taking the Cowboys serious, man, until Jerry Jones calls it quit. Till then, man, the Cowboys ain't going nowhere. They can pick up whoever they should, and they really haven't made that many moves, and I think that's good for them. That's what Chris Canty was talking about in the last segment. He gave a good take that I like. Uh, Chris Canty was saying every time that Dallas goes, they start, because Dallas hasn't made that many free agency moves. They haven't made that many free agency moves, but they had a chance to get Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying? You had a chance. Like, they should have been more aggressive with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is from here. I wonder if Dak will bounce back from his injury. I don't know, man. We'll have to see, but they got to Dak got to, and I like Dak. Stephen Green, knows I'm a Dak. I like Dak, man, but you to get paid 60 million. Yeah, you're gonna have to bounce back, man. And I'm not putting it all on Dak because if you don't have a solid offensive line, man, more often than none, you're gonna get hurt. And then you also got to take into consideration this: the defense was hurt. That's why I don't criticize Parsons that much because Parsons had a load on him. He's been in an unfair situation since he came in. I mean, as much as I like Diggs, Diggs stay hurt. It's second season in a row where he got hurt. Parsons ended up getting hurt because they were running him to the ground. Because you got another guy, when he first came in, you had Vander Ish, couldn't rely on him. You see how that happened. He stayed hurt and then eventually hurt himself into retirement. You know, you got Diggs in the backfield, he was hurt. Then you got they had like he was Dak Prescott offensive line was real shaky. And then you have CeeDee Lamb, he ended up getting hurt too. But CeeDee Lamb wasn't even running the routes right. Then your running game is always been suspect. You know what I'm saying? And Mike McCarthy, he didn't listen, I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan, but he didn't deserve the blame for all of that. Oh well, I mean, you could get 141 million all you want to. Are you gonna win a championship? I mean, that's the whole end game. Like that's why, like with Myles Garrett, I mean, yeah, he got the bag and everything, but y'all gonna do the same thing you did last season. Nobody's gonna pay attention to the Browns. They're gonna be stuck in the same situation that they were. Dakota Michael C got the most pressure in the Big D. Um, I would say it's Dak, not really Micah. Micah, like I know Micah gets a lot of slack, but it might be my bias or whatever, but I like what Micah does, man. For real, man. He works hard, man. I don't think people realize how hard Micah Parsons works. But Dak Prescott, I like the fact that Dak how he bounces back, but you know 60 million, man, and you're gonna have to come back, man, and you're gonna have to be booming. If if I'm the Cowboys, man, they're gonna have to take the and I hate to bring this dude up. You're probably gonna have to just go ahead and take the Bill Laimbeer approach in terms of talking to the media, or take the Greg Popovich route in terms of talking to the media, or take the Bill Belichick route in terms of talking to the media, being very say little to nothing in all action, man. All action. Just say it is what it is. Be simple minded because the more that you talk, and I feel like, listen, Michael Parsons might have to do what Paul George is doing. Man, they get a new stadium, man. What the hell? Shit, they need to get some new goddamn personnel. That's what the fuck they need to do. Talking about a new stadium. You trying to get a new stadium for what? Nigga, get a championship. You worried about a new damn stadium, man. Like I could see if you was the Golden State Warriors, you know what I'm saying, going over to from Oracle to the Chase Center or some shit like that. Nah, man, fuck all that. You only get a new stadium. Only reason you get a new stadium is what, to lose in that motherfucker. Shit, man. Like, damn, man. Stick with the same. Last few good QBs the Browns had were Bernie, Vinny Testaverde. Now you can't forget about what's his name, uh, Baker Mayfield, man. Baker Mayfield, man. I don't think a lot of people. Baker Mayfield was good for them, man. And the way they did Baker Mayfield, it was wrong. You know, I I don't. Baker Mayfield, he'll play good, and then at the end of the game, like last season, man, with that fumble, or whatever, which it that was a miscommunication. A lot of people blame Baker or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna fully blame Baker for that. But at the end of games, it had always been his problem. He'll play good like throughout the third or fourth quarter, you know what I'm saying? Or I mean, for the first three quarters or whatnot, or even like at the beginning of the season, like at the beginning of this season, they were calling Baker Mayfield an early season MVP candidate and stuff. But I'm like, let it play out first, because when it gets down to the get down, that's what separates the boys from the men. Kenyon, man, what's going down, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. I noticed. I know why you've been gone, man. Shit, I'll be gone too. The way the Suns is playing. Hey, but don't feel bad. Y'all doing better than my Sixers. I ain't even gonna talk about the Suns. You said that Deshaun Watson experiment was a failure, worst QB contract ever. Well, he tore his Achilles, okay, which um, that that right there can be very unforgiving. You know what I'm saying? I'm Deshaun Watson, man. He did not have a good offensive line. Now, I was very critical of Deshaun Watson. He could have played a lot better or whatever, but he was having problems with the coaches. Then the fans turned on him. You know what I'm saying? He had already been public enemy number one when he came in, that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like he was already in the ring with no gloves on, David. You know what I'm saying? So he was in a unfair situation. Now people thought that him having a Maury Cooper there, you know what I'm saying? Um, Nick Chubb, of course, we saw the injury. He ended up getting hurt real bad or whatever. They thought that they were going to do some things. Then on top of that, on the defensive side of the ball, the only thing that was really holding up was, Myles Garrett in there. He re-injured his Achilles, homie. Got a dark cloud over him. Yeah, it is sad, man. But I listen. I know some people gonna trip out when I say this though. I still got faith in Deshaun Watson. Listen, man. What did he get? What did they make a big deal about him doing? Something that a man loves to do, nigga, which is to get his shit stroked. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, if we're being real, and I know some people don't want to talk about it, but man, a nigga want to get pleased every now and then. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was he doing wrong? Okay, some people gonna make it. They make the deal about him in his personal life, about him having a significant other and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's that's his personal business. You know what I'm saying? But they made a big deal out of him doing something that Robert Kraft did. Robert Kraft did the same thing. He went to a massage parlor. You know what I'm saying? Was rubbing on something. You know what I'm saying? And now he in trouble for him. And then on top of that, they ain't had no evidence that he was doing any of that stuff or whatever. Man, he came in there and they made a whole big ass deal out of nothing. Something that a lot of guys do every single day. You know what I'm saying? And the women obviously weren't tripping about it or whatever, because a lot of these women make they make six figures doing this shit like that. There's women that fly out, you know what I'm saying, to various places just to do whatever they're gonna do or whatever. Ain't no big deal. I mean, shit, like That's why I don't criticize these women. Like everybody criticizing Liz Cambridge for doing OnlyFans and shit like that. All these motherfuckers that sit up there and they criticize porn and shit like that, right? They be the main motherfuckers that's watching that shit. Yeah. Oh my God, how could he do that? That is so disgusting. And you have a woman in there. We'll say, Harriet, come here and look at this. And then she'll be like, oh my. And that's an oh my where she'll be like, I don't know what to say. But in her mind, she's like, it's turning me on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get real, man. How you think we got here? Everybody's so like, oh my God, straight to the point. He's talking about sex. You're supposed to be talking about sports. Motherfucker, get real. When you in sports and you a single nigga, man, let's get real, man. They trying to smash everything moving. That does happy, Yeah, I mean, like, it's not a big deal. I want to see Deshaun Watson perform on the field. I'm not worried about what no, that's just what I was saying. Okay, like with Michael Irvin. I didn't care that he snorted lines. I didn't care that he had prostitutes. No, like, Jimmy Johnson didn't care about that either. Neither did Jerry Jones or none of that. Nigga, they cared about him being a playmaker. That's what he cared about. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care about, him snorting lines, drinking, prostitutes, all that other stuff. Can you get the job done on Sundays and Thursdays? Some of these reporters on TV, yeah, I know. Like Kayla Rooks been actually looking pretty good. I think, and I'm gonna say this before I leave though. You brought up a good point. I think that what's her name? What's her name? Man, I always forget her name, man. But she the other host, I think her name is Dawn. But I think that she should be the moderator. I don't think that Molly should be the moderator no more. I think Shanae should be a moderator. I think Monica McNutt should be a moderator. I don't want to look at my what's her name no more. Nah, hell nah. I can't stand Malika Andrews. Malika Andrews look like Pinocchio, man. Like her face look like one of them you know how like Pinocchio used to look and shit. That's what she look like. She look like Pinocchio and shit. Like one of them wooden stuff that they make for Christmas and shit. You know what I'm saying? One of them wooden band members and shit. That's what Malika Andrews look like. Let me stop though. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I'll get at y'all later.